What's going on, YouTube? Kamikazevondoom here with another Division 2 video, so sit back, relax, grab that popcorn, don't forget to hit that like, subscribe if you haven't already, and let me know what you think in the comments section below. But this is going to be a change these settings now video. This is a updated version 2024, and this is for all of you new and returning players that are out there, or players that want to just optimize their playstyle. This is going to be the video for you because I ramp up all my settings way up to max, and that's why I have the playstyle that I use. So I hope that you find this video helpful, and big shout out to Tom, who was in today's live stream. He's actually the reason why I'm making today's video, because he was asking that, you know, being away from the game for a few years, what would be the best settings to change and why. So here you go, Tom. All right. So without further ado, let's check out our settings. So just click start and go to the bottom right. You can see your settings tab. Now these are going to be very important, so just follow along with me, and you can even pull up your game and do this in real time while I show you. Now first and foremost, I am on Xbox. Now I use the exact same settings on Xbox and PlayStation, and I use the exact same settings on PC. I do not change them because I use a controller on PC. I know, there's a lot of you that are out there, shame, ding, ding, shame, ding, ding. I get it, okay? But I'm a creature of habit, and I've played Xbox for, I don't know, 20-something years now, and my Xbox is just, it's just right for my hands. I got the thumbs for Xbox. So I use the same controller on my Xbox and my PC. And then whenever I jump over to PlayStation, I act like everything's okay, but in reality, I'm using this controller like, what is this? Ugh. But it is what it is. Anyways, regardless, the settings are going to be the same. Just follow along. I promise it'll be nice and easy for you. So we're going to start off at the top with the gameplay settings, okay? Now, gameplay settings. First and foremost, I turn off the indicators for cover and vault. All right? Everyone knows that your character can jump on top of items, and everybody knows that your character can take cover against items. You don't really need the game to show you. That's just my personal opinion. That's why I turn these two off. I also have call status off until I am ready for call status. Okay, so I didn't mean to toggle that. Now I have to go through my damn settings and make sure no one just randomly joins me. Okay, now back. So call setting, have on none, because I don't want to be notified when people are calling for help while I'm making a video or something. But if you don't care about that, then by all means you can turn your call status back on and help out whatever agent is around you. But for me personally, I turn that sucker off until I'm ready to, help someone out. Next up, I turn the hints off. I don't want any of the pop-ups on my screen. I have the show damage numbers on because I want to see the damage numbers that I'm doing in real time, just to make sure that my video or my build is up to snuff. Show radar on, obviously. The rest of these should be the same. Oh, okay, these right here. So show skills on group frame. This one's very important. So you'll see that if you're playing in a group or in a raid, something like that, you'll be able to see what your teammates are running as far as like a drone or hive or seeker mine, whatever. So a lot of times when people join me and I'm like, hey, do you mind taking that drone off and putting on like a hive? They'll be like, how do you even know I'm using a drone? And it's not because I'm inspecting your character. It's because this setting is activated. Same with the numerical cooldown. So this one helps yourself out. So it'll do the countdown for you. So it'll be, hey, you get your skill back in 3, 2, 1, boom, and then you have it back. That way you're not guessing, oh, I think I'll have it back in 2 seconds. It'll actually tell you. Next up, we have the additional field of vision. This one is very important, and it will take some getting to used to. I have it fully maxed out, 25, 25. Now, the field of vision, that's, think of it like everything around you is zoomed out. Okay, if that makes sense. So typically when you're playing this game, you're on 0 for these settings. And it's as if your environment and everything is like zoomed in, you're very close. This kind of separates that. You get a little bit more space. It allows you to look around corners a little bit faster. And it's very helpful in PvP. Very helpful. Motion sickness turned off. HUD tutorials turned off. I don't want any of those things popping up on screen while I'm playing. It's a distraction. I'm not, up to it. I am like super wheezy right now. I apologize. Still trying to get over the sickness. Now, as far as the UI, I do customize the UI. Now, the way I customize it might not be the way you want to, but I'll explain the way I do mine. So I start with the map. I keep it in the top left, and I zoom in a little bit more than normal. I have that box right up against the heroic symbol. As far as my XP in the top right corner, I zoom down, and I try to make this as small as possible. I don't really want that taking up my screen. For the bottom right, I keep the players up a little bit and a little bit off of the border. That way, whenever I'm in a raid or countdown or something, it'll show the entire list without any issues. For the top middle, I zoom in. I keep it very small. And then for the bottom two, on the right side of the screen, I keep both of these very small as well. And that's how I keep my HUD at all times. All right. Now going back to the UI setting, we do floating, scrolling combat text. Now this is a big one. This is something that I get asked about probably once a week. And it's a simple fix in your settings to change it up, because you do not have floating combat text on your settings as a default. You do have to change that. So let me show you exactly what that is, because a lot of people talk about this. So I'm just sitting here, right, on, yeah, we'll do whatever. So as I'm shooting the enemy, you can see my damage numbers stay to the right. All of my damage numbers. And they just stay on the right side of the screen. Okay? Now, that's because of the floating combat text. Now, if I go back and I change it to random sphere, this is what you typically have on your combat text, to where it's just shooting on the enemy and you can see the hit numbers on the enemy itself. For me personally, I do not like this setting because I cannot keep track of my damage numbers, and making build videos and things like that, I like to have my damage numbers out to the side. That way I can keep track of, what I'm doing. So that's why I use the floating combat text. All right, back to the UI. Raid speedrun UI I have on when I do the raids. But when I'm not doing the raids, I turn it off, because for some reason it is connected to the countdown game mode, and it is super annoying when you see that activated. And that is it for the UI. For the audio settings, I have the music down pretty low because I don't want to get dinged on YouTube for any sort of music that I have, and everything else is pretty much standard. Going to controls. This one might take some getting used to, but once you get used to it, you're good to go. I turn my sensitivity all the way up, full tilt, 20 each. I do not do that for the scope, because when you're scoped in, you do not need that sensitivity. But for your camera and for your aiming, you do. So I have it all the way full tilt at 20 each. If you are way down, I don't know, let's see. Let's say you're down to like 6, bump it up to like 10. Get used to that, then bump it up to like 13, get used to it, bump it up to 16, get used to it, and then finally just bump it up to 20. Also, I turn off the vibration. I do not play with controller vibration on at all, ever. It messes with you. I don't do that. Not now, not never. For the left and right stick dead zone, have them both at 0. Now, if you have stick drift, heyo, that's what she said. If you have stick drift, then you might have to turn it up to 1 or 2 maybe. But if you just have a normal, controller without any sort of drag or stick drift, just keep it at 0. That way your controller is very responsive. Let's see, next up, auto aim. I do have auto aim on, but it does get tricky sometimes going up against people with drones. If you're trying to shoot them in the face and they pop out a drone, it might mess up your auto aim. Going to the graphics, I pretty much have the brightness and sharpening fully maxed out. A lot of people say my game is dark, but I have the neutral lighting off. If I turn the neutral lighting on, I guess it gets a little bit brighter. But I keep the neutral lighting off, just personal preference. Next up, we have the VoIP. This is for talking to other players in the game. So I have it activated, so I do not have disable on. I have my mic enabled. Now, the settings I want you to pay attention to are right here. The input and the volume boost. So the input threshold, you want it low because you don't want to have to scream into your headset for people to hear you. That's why a lot of people, they're like, man, I can barely hear you. It's because their threshold is so high that their microphone is only picking up their voice whenever they hit a certain decibel. Do you see what I'm saying? So I keep mine at 5 because I don't typically yell. I'm not really big into that, but I do talk, I don't know, with some sort of a monotone sometimes. But regardless, keeping that threshold down, it picks up your voice easier, and that way you don't have to yell into your mic. And another thing, you don't want to blare out your teammates' headphones. So I keep the volume boost at 50. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. Damn, I'm sorry. I got a soda today. My bad. I apologize. Going to the accessibility setting, I do have larger chat enabled. You can see what it looks like with, small chat. Boom. I do have larger chat enabled. I also have high contrast enabled as well. And I do have the on-screen keyboard. I use that a lot. So whenever you're in a team, you can hit down on your D-pad and you can talk to people. It pulls up a little keyboard and then you can type and it'll show everyone. Super easy to use. That way you don't have to use your mic if you don't want to. Anything else on here? Subtitles I have on low contrast. I have it on small. I don't want them to block anything on the screen. And that really is it. I apologize about the burp. My bad. I tried to hold that one in, but mid-sentence, it was like, nope, we're coming out. So there you go. But that was my Change These Settings Now video. I hope you learned something or you found this helpful or informative. I know that it's the same settings since the game came out. I'm not really showing you anything that's crazy new, but I do get hit up a lot from new and returning players that are wondering what settings I'm using and why. So I hope this helped you understand. Now, for PC players, what I do personally, because I do have a gaming laptop that's not the best in the world, what I do is I keep all of the environmental things on low. That way it doesn't bog down my computer. So I keep those graphics on low for all of the environmental stuff, and then for sharpening and for the character and things like that, I keep it on pretty high, almost very high, I believe. And it works pretty good for me. It works pretty smooth. The only thing is going down this alley or this hallway right here, the things on the walls would be super blurry, where here on Xbox they're super clear. But all right, that was it for me. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hit that like, subscribe, the whole YouTube spiel, and I will see you in the next one. I'm Kamikazevondoom. Peace out.